Hey guys, welcome. Today I wanted to try something a little bit different. I had lots of odds and ends that I wanted to cover, and I thought I'd just wrap them all up into one big vlog. Tell me what you think. Hopefully you guys like it and find the information useful. If you're impatient, these are the things I'm gonna cover, and I'll link in the description so you can just jump to any part. Totally cool by me. All right, let's get started. So first thing I wanted to do is take you on a quick tour around the interwebs. This is just a short list of some of the best things I've seen lately that I think you guys will enjoy. So first up, build of the week. I recently saw this Road Scholar's Cayman GTR, and the thing is freaking gorgeous. Now, if you haven't seen Road Scholar's Cayman GTR build, you owe it to yourself to check it out. The 911 has been getting this kind of treatment for years now, but this is the first time I've seen this quality of build on the mid-engined Porsche. They've done a beautiful job on the bodywork, and they've dropped in a monster of an engine. The thing is just amazing. What I love about this build is that they went with the wide body look that I personally think looks fantastic. And they did it the right way by fabricating sheet metal. I have seen a few Boxsters and Caymans that use these bolt-on fender liner type things, and that just seems like a really unnatural and ugly way to add curves to a car. I've even seen them put on some cars like a Lexus LFA that I saw at an auto show recently. I don't understand it. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but the sheet metal work on this example from Road Scholars is just spot on. It's brilliant. Okay, next up is Name That Porsche. You probably want to pause the video here, really study the lines and the curves of the Porsche. First person to get the year and model right, or the person who gets closest, will win their choice of either a virtual high five or a virtual thumbs up. I know, big prizes. Alrighty, it's time for the tip of the week. Today's tip is about paintless dent removal. Check it out. Okay, I admit that's more than a tip. But the key here is that dent removal doesn't have to be hard. And with that, let's head out to the shop for a look at upcoming projects. First project, this guy right here. This is a Bosch alternator that I pulled out of my 986. It's the same alternator that the 996 uses, and I know that because it's got the 996 part number on the back, and it's broken. I am almost 100% sure that the voltage regulator is bad, but rather than just pull off the voltage regulator and replace that, I want to rebuild this whole alternator, and I think that'll be an interesting project. Never rebuilt an alternator before. That's definitely coming up on my agenda. At some point I'm going to pull this all apart, replace everything. There's a clutch in there, bearings, a lot of moving parts that wear out. So I think it'll be fun to pull apart this Bosch alternator, rebuild it. I think I'd be able to rebuild it for like 40, 50 bucks probably, which is great because new and even rebuilt professionally, they're many hundreds of dollars. They're really ridiculously expensive. So I definitely want to get on that. That'll be an interesting project. Now, additionally, moving over to Persephone, I've noticed that my soft top needs to be reconditioned, re-waterproofed, things of that sort. So I'd like to get on that. I've also noticed that the window seems to be making kind of a funky noise. I don't know if you can hear that. It still works fine, but it doesn't sound quite right. I think that maybe it's kind of sticking or something, and I'm concerned that if I don't open it up and take a look, something will break there. So I need to dig into this at some point too. Might make a video about that. Last but not least, I want to get some maintenance done. I realized that with all the projects I've done, I've done very little of the basic maintenance on my car. Well, I mean, I've done the maintenance, just haven't made many videos about it. Like, I didn't even make a video about changing your oil, I don't think. So, oil changes, air filters, spark plugs, spark plug tubes, lots of random things, cleaning the drains, all of the regular maintenance. I want to start making some videos on that because I really haven't done it, and that seems like the basic thing that you want to start with. So that is also on my mind as far as things that are coming up. All right, last, and it's deliberately last because I'm sick of talking about it. IMS garbage. First thing up, I got a third IMS bearing, which is pretty awesome because I was able to take really high resolution pictures of it and upload those magnified images to my blog. Did that a while ago, but I didn't really make a video of it because I'm sick of it. But if you haven't seen that, you can go check it out. Also, if you have an old IMS bearing lying around that you want to donate to the cause, my goal here is to create a library of IMS bearings so that anyone with a single row bearing with X amount of miles and X maintenance done on it can just go there and find a similar bearing and get an idea of what their IMS bearing might look like based on other people's bearings. Right, on other IMS news. I've finally been worn down and I'm going to tell you my source for the IMS bearing. It is a small company based out of Arizona in the US here, and it's a guy who just hand assembles all of the hybrid ceramic bearings he makes for like race applications and things like that. Really kind of interesting company. I like the guy, seems pretty cool, but before I let you know exactly what the details are on it, be aware that I still don't know that this bearing will work. It's just a hybrid ceramic bearing. It may not work. It may fail after 10,000 miles or something like that. I've only had it in the car for a few thousand miles. There are no guarantees. So I'm giving you the source, giving you that information to work with it, but if it turns out to be a colossally bad idea, I'm sorry. And that's really the reason why I haven't told anyone about the source before, is because I'm worried that people will think that I'm endorsing it, which I'm not trying to do. Anyway, it's called Performance Bearing. You can call him up and you can have him make a hybrid ceramic bearing however you want it, with any kind of seals or with no seals, any kind of lubrication in there, whatever you're really looking for. He can also change the number of ceramic balls in the hybrid ceramic ball bearing. So one of the things that I did is I went with a full complement bearing, which basically squeezes in another few ceramic balls, and that makes it a bit stronger. It makes it able to handle more loads because it's distributed across more ceramic balls in the bearing. The bearing that I ordered from him is probably on the more expensive side since it's a dual row and it's hybrid ceramic, so it's got more bearings in there and they're all kind of squeezed together, so it's a little harder to make. It cost $190, I think it was. Just to give you a range, obviously the options you choose is going to change that a bit. Single row hybrid ceramic bearings are much cheaper than the dual row, so that's a factor. But if you're curious, you can check it out, do your own research. One other important note, if you have a dual row IMS, you will need a spacer because the dual row bearing that is made today is just a little bit thinner than the dual row that comes out of the Porsche. So you need like a thin little spacer that you'll have to get made at a machine shop or find somewhere. So that can be definitely something to be aware of, because if you don't get that spacer in there, the alignment might be a little off and it'll wear out and the bearing will die. Not an issue though, I don't think, if you have a single row IMS bearing. Anyway, all things to consider. You can check it out if you want. It's called Performance Bearing. put up the contact information. If you guys do end up buying a bearing from him, I'm trying to convince them to hook me up with some wheel bearings so I can test those out and make some videos on that. So tell them that I sent you. Please do not buy a bearing from them just because of that. I'm not advocating you buy a bearing, but if you do, hey, might as well get something out of it, right? Okay, hopefully that's enough disclaimers, and if anyone's car blows up, you guys will not send me angry hate letters. All right, this was a little bit different. Hopefully you enjoyed that. I'd love to hear from you and know what you guys liked and didn't like, as well as what you guys thought worked or didn't work. And if you have any questions, of course, as always, let me know. I'll try and do my best to answer them. And I will see you guys all around. Keep driving, keep wrenching, and keep being awesome.